What's up, everybody? This is MCJ Network / The Setting Away. And today, I'd like to talk to y'all about Decoded the Sleight movie, which was a great movie, people. It was an awesome movie. There are many key points I want to hit while talking about this movie. The first one is the fact that he figured out a way to harness his force the best way he could. The second one is he never gave up, even when the situation was bleak. The third one is protect the people you love at all costs. And the fourth one is respect the force, because he respected it and it ended up saving his life. He understood, even in the movie when the girl asked him about the electromagnet in his body, he understood that anybody can do tricks, but being able to do things nobody else is willing to do, that's what makes you a magician. And that's true. What makes you a magician is when you go out there and create things that nobody's ever seen before, at least in your age or era or time. So that was the coolest thing about him. And he figured out how to do this by installing pretty much a magnet into his arm. Carried wires throughout his right arm into his hands, and the charges went, he had negative hooked up to his thumb, and he had positive going to his other fingers. And that created an electromagnetic charge that allowed him to manipulate metal and various other things, and pretty much generate telekinesis / psychokinesis as well. It allowed him to harness that and do what he needed to do with it. So this character pretty much started off with the movie descending into the Calippo, the dark side. And the reason why I say that is, at the beginning of his movie, his mama died. And his dad had already been dead. And before she died, he was doing great. He was in his Kabbalah. He was in his light. He was enjoying life. He had even got a scholarship to college in electrical engineering. But after his mama died, everything fell apart, and he thus began his hero's journey into the Da'af through the Calippo. So now, while he doing this, he ended up becoming a drug dealer, something he did not want to do, but that was the best thing he come up with to support his family at that moment. So a year passes by, he's still a drug dealer. He doing what he can, taking care of his little sister, who he loves very much, which is also great. That she's a great catalyst for him fully awakening as well. And that's a very important point, as far as it is the woman, the feminine energy, that activates that masculine energy and forces you to ascend to heights that you never thought you could. So that's what she represented in the movie. And of course, protecting the ones you love. That was the basic teaching in the movie, at all costs, by the way. And next, what went on is, as he was drug dealing, we was introduced to this character by the name of Angelo. And Angelo was pretty much his supplier. And at first he started off as a cool dude. You know, he was relaxed, you know, everything was going good. And then another group of guys came into the picture and started selling on his yard. So now our protagonist, by the name of Bo, by the way, is now introduced to the true dark side of drug dealing. Up until this point, he was just selling drugs to kids who love to party, or people who love to party, and everything was alright. You know, it was just harmless money making. Then when these dudes were introduced into the picture, they came into the picture selling drugs, other people's drugs against Angelo's. And that's when he seen the dark side of Angelo and the shadow side of drug dealing. It started out, he had Angelo sent them on a mission to find out who these people was. And he figured out who the guy was. The guy's name was Maurice. And once they find out, Angelo comes to his house, picks him up, and then he goes, then he goes to meet these dudes at their crib, and Angelo trying to figure out, like, why the hell y'all selling on my block? Why? And I don't even get a cut, and y'all just wrote me out, and then y'all had the audacity to compare y'all prices to mine and sell cheaper and make more money without cutting me in. So of course it gets violent, it gets hostile, and boys like, what the hell going on? What the hell am I gonna do now? I never thought that this shit would escalate and get this violent. So now he deep into the clip-off. So now he trying to figure out, how the hell am I gonna get out of this now? How the hell am I gonna fight through all of this? And what happens is he meet a girl by the name of Holly, who's also in her clip-off. Her mama just got divorced. Her mama and dad just got divorced, and her mama is drinking a lot and beating on her. So now they meet up after she seen him do a magic trick because he's a magician at pretty much his stand, and she gives him his number, and they talk, and they have a very good meeting or whatever. And when she came to the picture, things was going great, but he finds out that her mama is drinking heavily, and she's trying to deal with this divorce, and she's taking her anger out on Holly by beating on her. So this is when the movie really starts escalating, because after Angelo warns Maurice to stop selling, he continues to do it. So they kidnap him, and then Angelo forces Bo to cut off his left hand. And Bo's like, fuck, I gotta really get out now, cause this shit getting crazy, and I don't even know how I'm gonna deal with this. And the next thing that happened was Angelo gives him a key of cocaine, cocaine. I think that's what it was. And he cuts it up, and he produces another key out of using baking soda. And when he does this, somehow Angelo finds out that he's been cutting his drug, and he turns on him. And it was only supposed to be $15,000 that he gives him, but it ends up being $45,000. He charges another. He tacks on another $30,000 on the $15,000 that he already owed him. Plus, he don't get a cut, which I thought was crazy. Now, Bo is in this horrible situation. He's like, damn. Now, how am I gonna get out of this? How am I gonna free myself from this? And the situation takes a turn for the worse when Angelo kidnaps his little sister. This is when it gets real. So as always, the hero is faced with this deadly villain, his negative, that he has to overcome, even in the clip-off. So now, the little he kidnaps the little girl, but before that they ransack his house, and when they ransack his house, when he goes home after they kidnapped his little sister, he sees a picture of his old teacher. Now this is, of course, when the student is ready, the master manifests again. So now he ready to get up out this situation, do whatever it takes at all costs to get up out. So now, he what does he do? What does he do next? He goes to sin. Yeah, that's right. He goes to sin, and he tells his teacher what he's been doing as far as this little electromagnetic project that he's been working on, and that he's pretty much turned his arm into an electromagnetic vortex, to be simple. And what goes on next is he tells his teacher, like, I need more power, teacher. I need more output, because they just stole his sister. So in order to get her back, he needed more power. And what happens next is, what he does is, they figure it out. He achieves the level of power he needs to even affect the car with his force, for the most part, using electromagnetism. And he goes to see Angelo. And when he goes in there, it ain't pretty. It gets real motherfucking ugly real quick. He starts fucking people up. He starts snatching out teeth. Dude started beating him with a metal bat. He stopped the metal bat with his force. Beats him with it a few times, and then throw it. Then he knocked him off of him. Then next, he started calling out Angelo. Angelo like, what the hell going on out here? And then he sees, like, what the hell you doing here, Bo? And Bo's like, oh, nigga, where my sister? Where in the hell is my sister? And Bo's like, Angelo's like, nigga, until you pay me my money, you won't see her. And Bo said, you took it too far when you stole my sister, which he did. He shouldn't have took his sister, because now he done snapped. Now he done found his warrior strength. He done found his warrior power. He done harnessed this raw power at that, and now he's ready to go. He ready to cause mayhem. And so Angelo comes down, not knowing that he done achieved his power. He comes down, start snapping on Bo, and then he pulls out a gun and tries to shoot Bo. Bo covers himself up like this, and his force activate and stop the bullets. Oh, and Angelo, y'all gotta see the movie. Angelo mouth motherfucking drops. He was like, oh shit, what am I about to do now? This nigga got superpowers. What am I gonna do? And he dropped the bullet, but then he picks up one after he takes the gun, snatched the gun up out of his hand, of course. And then he takes one bullet, and then he shoots the bullet into the middle of his forehead, that third eye, because Angelo has let greed blind him to the truth. So he started pretty much slowly but surely pushing the bullet into his third eye, grinding it in there, and then Angelo like, stop, man, stop. And Bo's like, nigga, where's my sister? Where is my sister? And then he finally tells him where his sister is, and then after he tells him where his sister is, he kind of had a little moment, and then he gives him, he pulls out the $15,000, give him his money, pay up his debt, and then he left and got his sister. And then after that, they left, moved to a new city. There was another lady in the movie who was pretty much the mother figure after his mother died. Her name was Angie, I think, and she represented his that maiden energy that went with his sisterly love. You know, he had a lot of feminine energy around him to help him through this clip off. So So, cause it's the feminine energy that activates the masculine energy, so they can reach the heights that they need to reach to to protect their family, provide for their family, and various other things that a man would do. And they move, and once they move to New City, he found out his clip off. He back on the path now in this Kabbalah, and back in this tree of life. And he's doing tricks again, showing them all his abilities and skills and everything. And then the girl come get him, and they go home. And she asks him, what's in the box? What's the new trick you working on? He said, I'll show you when I'm ready to show you. So the movie ends with her waking up one night, and the lights and stuff was blinking. The lights are blinking, and she's trying to figure out why the lights blinking. Why the lights blinking? And so she goes into the room that he's been working in, and she sees something spectacular, him harnessing his force, pretty much. And that blew her mind, and the movie ended. So the moral of the story with this movie is respect the force. The second point of the major point of the movie is learn how to harness your force the best way you can on your path and on your journey. And finally, the third point of this movie is protect the ones you love at all costs. And that is pretty much the whole point of the journey of the hero. You leave home, you face your trials, you go back home, you save who you need to save, and then you off again into the wind for the most part. So that concludes the breakdown and decoding of the movie Sleight. Go check it out if y'all ain't seen it. And this is MCJ Network / The Sentinel Way, and I'm out. Peace.